Some heroes are born in the light, some are forged in shadows. And some learn to dance between both, like Dick Grayson, the boy who watched his family fall from the sky and rose through the ranks of superheroes to touch it himself. From becoming the boy wonder to finding his own feet as Nightwing, this is his entire story. So let's just get right into it. Before he stretched his wings and flew solo, the boy wonder was, as you guys know, at the side of Batman. And the first time he fights at the side of the Caped Crusader is in the episode Independence Day, where the 13-year-old Dick Grayson is buzzing, hoping to be inducted into the Hall of Justice with a few other sidekicks, but they end up getting snubbed, being seen as just sidekicks by the snobby superheroes. After hearing this, Dick, who I'll be calling Robin from now on, until he becomes Nightwing anyway, teams up with Aqualad and Kid Flash and decides they're gonna go and investigate Cadmus Labs, who are basically a super shady genetic research organization who are usually up to no good. Robin uses his tech skills to gain access for the trio, hacking doors and cameras until they eventually find and release Superboy. Basically, Superboy is one of the genetic creations that Cadmus had created in the hopes to use him against the heroes. But having been rescued by Robin and the team, Superboy slots into the gang and helps them battle against the other genetic mutations roaming around the Cadmus Lab's lower levels. They manage to find their way out, and now, with the team forming, Robin stands up to Batman, deciding to leave his side to forge his own path with his own team of young heroes. After finding out what Robin and the team did, Batman realizes that these kids may be far more useful than he first thought. So, in the episode Fireworks, he gifts them the old Mount Justice base as a reward for saving Superboy.
I smell smoke.
My cookies!
I guess that also gives them the go-ahead to be their own team too, because Batman wouldn't gift them that if he didn't want them together fighting evil. But Batman is doing more than giving them his blessing, as in Drop Zone, he recruits the team to scope out a drug factory owned by Venom in Santa Prisca, and Robin once again uses his tech skills to infiltrate the place. This is far from the success he had at Cadmus though, as he leads the gang into Bane and some Cobra cultists who end up giving the team a decent beating. Thanks to this misstep, Robin decides he isn't ready to lead a team, and asks Aqualad to step up and take his place.
How could my first mission as leader go so wrong? You should lead as Calder. You're the only one who can.
Then I accept the burden.
But in Homefront, he more than steps up to the plate in his team's absence when their base is invaded by Red Tornado's siblings, Red Inferno and Red Torpedo. Only Robin and the new member in the gang, Artemis, aren't immediately defeated and instead work together to disable the intruding androids by hitting the bucket of bolts where it hurts. It's also important to note that this is the first time where Robin genuinely couldn't call for help from any senior superheroes either, meaning he really did save his team.
He's breathing too!
Way to get trod.
He also once again proves he's a serious leader in the episode Failsafe. Now sure, it's only in a simulation, but it's pretty graphic. It's essentially an alien invasion where the entire Justice League is killed and Aqualad sacrifices himself to save the team. In this devastation, Robin coordinates the team brilliantly, and even without the full gang, they manage to blow up the alien mothership. Despite it all being fake, Robin is clearly upset by the weight of making calls that might be right, but end up seeing his friends being killed.
Hurting. Try traumatized. I finally become leader and wind up sending all of my friends to their deaths.
I guess you could say this is the same burden that a hero like Batman carries, and one he'll 100% have to carry later on when he becomes Nightwing. All these lessons culminate in the episode Auld Acquaintance, where the team have to face a vicious and mind-controlled Justice League that sees Batman attack Robin. The controller of the heroes is Vandal Savage. Think of him as like a high-tech caveman. Batman is obviously way too strong for Robin to outright defeat, but all of what he's learned so far has allowed him to hold his old mentor off for just enough time for him to find and give Batman the antidote. So I guess you could say this is the first time that Robin saved Batman. After saving Batman, the team saves the rest of the Justice League.
Happy New Year, Justice League.
And as a reward, they're offered full membership into the league, but Robin declines, wanting once again to do things his own way. That's where the first season ends, and in the break from season 1 to season 2, there's a 5-year time skip where Robin isn't going by the Boy Wonder anymore. Instead, he's finally become Nightwing, and in Happy New Year, we see him in action. He's still leading the team, but they're still a separate entity to the league, but seen just as reliable by the world around them. They get a call from the UN that there's an alien bounty hunter on the loose named Lobo, where he leads 2 younger heroes, Blue Beetle and the new Robin, Tim Drake, to take him down. In doing so, though, the team uncover an impending alien invasion that's heading to Earth. The aliens in question are called the Toons.
I successfully interrogated a Croatan general on Ran.
and Inalienated, which is a great title, isn't it? To head off the invasion before it happens, Nightwing leads the team, and even a few of the Justice League members in a raid on a Krolotian base. In the raid, Nightwing comes face to face with the now evil Aqualad, who's been corrupted by his villainous father. Instead of listening to reason, Aqualad detonates a Krolotian bomb that forces the team to evacuate everyone. In the aftermath, though, and with many people saved, the actual alien invasion had been stopped as the aliens were blown to Kingdom Come. But so was Aqualad. Nightwing loses his best friend twice in this episode, once to darkness and then to death, once again showing him that the path of a hero isn't always a good one. However, Aqualad isn't dead. In fact, he's not even evil. It turns out that all this time, Nightwing had sent him on an undercover mission to infiltrate the Light, basically a cabal of supervillains who pull the strings, orchestrating the universe's evil.
Pity. Good morning, Black Manta.
We find this out in the episode Before the Dawn, when Miss Martian uncovers the secrets while trying to mentally interrogate Aqualad. To cement his place, though, to the Light as a serious evil operator, he must do something even more drastic than what he does with the bomb. Kills Artemis. Obviously, it's all faked.
Welcome back.
But the Light are none the wiser, and it's then revealed that a new alien invasion is now on its way. Thanks to Nightwing's plan, they now know that the species that's heading for them is the Reach.
The Reach have arrived at United Nations headquarters in New York City.
That's right. We know what we're up against.
A bunch of sorta insectoid-type green people, and their plan is to enslave Earth. But before we see our potential bug overlords turn us into mulch, why not give that subscribe button a little click so you never miss a recap of your favorite shows or characters? But going back to the bugs, now that Nightwing has this information in his back pocket, he puts together a plan to not only stop the Reach, but to save the people abducted on their ship. But it's not those aliens he has to worry about, it's his own team. Basically, Miss Martian doesn't know that Aqualad hadn't really killed Artemis, so she nearly kills him in a fit of rage-fueled revenge. That's when Nightwing has to come totally clean about the double agent thing to everyone. And in Summit, things really start heating up when Aqualad and Artemis reveal their true intentions to the Light. The villains erupt, and Nightwing uses this time to launch a full-scale assault on them. Fighting against foes like Black Beetle and Ra's al Ghul, they manage to subdue and capture several key villains, and with that long con now over, Nightwing has only one giant foe left to face, the Reach. So, in the Season 2 finale, Endgame, Nightwing coordinated a worldwide effort to dismantle all of the alien insects' doomsday devices that have been hidden. He organizes dozens of heroes into squads like the Conductor, which is a far cry from the boy who wasn't allowed to be in the Hall of Justice way back in the first episode, isn't it? He's not the only one who deserves a pat on the back, though, as Lex Luthor of all people comes up trumps with an anti-Reach virus that can exterminate those bugs off the face of the universe. Everything is totally under control until it's revealed that one last device that's been missed is going into Chrysalis. The Flash family race to contain the explosion, and while they do, Wally, or as you know him, Kid Flash, is vaporized while doing so. Nightwing watches on as one of his best friends die, and this time it's for real. This hits him like a train, and after Kid Flash's funeral, Nightwing meets with Aqualad and retires from active duty, and that he'll be stepping down as the team's leader. He leaves more broken than he ever has, but also having done more good than anyone else could in his shoes.
This is no time for you to resign.
I'm not resigning.
But Dick,
I need a break, Calder. You, me, Wally, we founded this team. Without him...
Season 3 has another little time skip. Only 2 years this time, where we now meet a 21-year-old Nightwing who isn't exactly back in business, but he isn't retired either. He works alone and rarely. But in Prince's All and Royal We, he's forced to take a stand when he uncovers a meta-human trafficking ring run by the shadowy Bedlam Syndicate. He infiltrates their facility in Moscow, freeing children from their horrific experiments and finding a trace back to Markovia, where this operation is really being conducted from. Angered by what they're doing to kids, Nightwing decides he needs some help, so recruits Artemis, Superboy, and Black Lightning to help him.
don't give me that look. One mission only. Agreed?
Agreed.
In Markovia, they find that even the royal family are victims to this trafficking, and they end up rescuing Princess Halo and Prince Brian Markov from the inner belly of the big trafficking facility. Shortly after, the team find and face Baron Bedlam, destroying his scientific equipment while fighting the rest of the villains he calls on for help. But Prince Brian isn't exactly helpless. Turns out he has powers of his own, and he ends up killing one of the villains. In the mission's aftermath, Bedlam is exposed to the Whole World, but Brian has been exiled from Him Kingdom for taking a life. So also assigns him to the care of Artemis, who takes him under her wing instead. Brian becomes Geo-Force, and throughout the rest of Season 3 steps into the hero role nicely, and Nightwing continues to pull strings from the shadows in his battle against the capturing and experimenting of meta-teens. And eventually Nightwing fully comes out of retirement to stop Bedlam, managing to topple him in Markovia with the help of not only his friends and new recruits, but the old team too. At the end of Season 3, Nightwing realizes that there is a place for him in the hero world, but he has to be what Batman always was to him from now on, a mentor. In Season 4, Nightwing does return to the mantle once again. However, this is due to Superboy apparently dying in a Martian explosion. However, it's later revealed that he's alive but trapped in the Phantom Zone. This is easily enough incentive for Nightwing to take the team on one last mission to save their friend. In the meantime, he has to assemble a new team to find him. There's still some old faces, of course. Aqualad, Tigris, Zatanna, and Rocket are brought together to research the mysteries of the Phantom Zone. The zone turns out to be a prison, a timeless dimension used to harbor the most dangerous criminals from Krypton. The House of Zod resides in the Phantom Zone, and while in there, Superboy is faced with the manipulation by Zod and his followers. Their plan is to escape the Krypton prison and conquer Earth, as they'd gain immense power from bathing under a yellow sun. To reach Superboy and stop this, however, Nightwing and the team use a magically reassembled school bus of all things, which has been enchanted as a dimensional portal.
From crushed to crushing it. Not bad.
The Phantom Zone.
They're quickly ambushed by the House of Zod, but they manage to hold them off long enough to reach Superboy. Before they can fully escape, though, Zod and his followers use a boom tube to escape the zone, heading for Earth, where they find Superman's Fortress of Solitude, using it to absorb the powers of the Yellow Sun. With the help of Superman and now the repowered Superboy, Nightwing manages to defeat the Zods, sending them flying back to the Phantom Zone. He watches on as the world is saved, and days later, he attends the wedding of Superboy and Miss Martian, finally breathing a sigh of relief for once that he isn't the kid who left the circus, or the sidekick in Batman's shadow, or even the plucky young leader of a team, but that he's Nightwing, his own man, and one hell of a hero. And that's it for Dick Grayson, at the time of writing anyway. We saw him go from boy to man and sidekick to super. I really hope this show gets renewed, because when you think about it, he's only like 23 or 24. There's loads more superhero action left in the tank for him and Nightwing. But for now, let me know down below what your favorite Nightwing moment is, and let me know what other show or character you'd like me to cover next. But for now, I'll catch you all next time.